What a difference a border makes. Made it into Pakistan from China and everything has changed. I'm in a place called Aliabad in the beautiful northeastern region of Gilgit-Baltistan in Pakistan. This is just where it turns out I ended up after yesterday's seemingly endless mission. Anyway, I'll gloss over that for now. Life is good again. The border crossing itself was magical. Absolutely the most awe-inspiring of my whole life. And end of the day, it's brought us here. This is only my first full day in Pakistan. I arrived yesterday late at night and it already feels like a very raw part of the world. It's a very distinct feeling and I like that about a place. And I've got to say, the landscape absolutely has to be the most dramatic anywhere in the world. At least I've never seen anything quite like this. Now, Aliabad is not necessarily a town you would spend a lot of time in if you were coming to the Hunza Valley, which is where I am, at least as far as I can tell. But it is just kind of where I jacked it in yesterday. After zipping around the place for a couple of hours, it's where I ended up. But it has served as a pretty good introduction to the kind of the dustiness of the place, the different social environment. And so I'm now quite happily taking a long walk to a nearby town called Karimabad to see a bit more of what the area has to offer. Oh, there's a skull of some kind down here. Don't know what that was. By the way, dustiness is a word I use positively to describe a place. It is for some reason a quality that I really enjoy. Do you think someone would give us a lift? Should we give it a go? I've got to say, hitchhiking is not something I would normally do. I think I've done it once in my life in Kazakhstan, but that went pretty well. We're out here and the people here seem pretty friendly as well, so let's see what happens. Anyway, just very not bad. Cool, Dennis, can I come? Can I go here?
Yes.
And then go up to...
This we're going to be carrying on.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Here's good, thank you. Bye. Well, I don't really know what that was, if it was a lift or some kind of minibus service, but he brought me part of the way nonetheless, so it worked out. Now I've got a bit of an uphill climb to get to our destination. Are you going to Karimabad? Okay, cool. I'll come. Thank you so much. What's your name? Louis. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. What nice people. What a place to live. Do you love Pakistan? I think I might, you know. They immediately seem like quite a happy bunch, the local people here. Also very friendly and very helpful. Look at this Jeep. Do you reckon it works? One big difference between here and China, aside from the many quite obvious things, is the temperature. You might notice I'm just wearing a jumper today. I'm not in loads of layers. I'm not freezing to death. Now, on paper, it's -8 degrees. And that's really bizarre because it actually feels warm, like I can feel heat. If I was going to guess what temperature it was today, I'd say 15, 18. It's actually quite warm. It's quite a nice feeling. Bearing in mind this is still winter. I'm not sure when this is going to end up on the internet because the Wi-Fi here is understandably not great, but this is early March. So yeah, winter, spring maybe. Should be freezing really. Feels like summer in England. The Pakistani version of having a kickabout. Beautiful. Okay, this is pretty steep. I'm officially sweating. Straight up there.
Yeah, this man.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Remember, No food or drink until sunset. I'm quite dry. My lips feel awful. I hope they don't come across too crispy on camera, but they certainly feel it. We've made it. This is Baltit Fort. This gloriously located structure, well, I say that because this is what it looks over. Baltit Fort. This was built around 800 AD. It's been around for quite some time, but the exact date is not actually known. And this is where the Mirs, the leaders of Hunza, back when Hunza was an independent state until about 50 years ago, this is where they ruled from. And a bit like Tashkurgan's stone city that we saw not long ago, this is valuable because of its geographical position near the borders with China, Afghanistan, etc. It's a very tactical location, and that's why they used it for so long. And this spectacle behind me is the Hunza Valley. Like I said, Hunza used to be an independent state until I think it was 1975 when it got absorbed. Imagine being in charge of all this. And here's what it looks like inside. This is where all the rulers would have lived. All the doors are really small though. They're like little hobbit-sized doors. This place actually became really important politically in the late 19th century with the Great Game. I actually spoke about this in a Kashgar video once, because the Great Game was the British and Russian battle for power in Central Asia, this kind of part of the world. So in 1888, the Russians turned up first and they started chatting to the Mir to see if they could have control of the region and they would help defend against the Brits. The British also tried to make the same deal, but against the Russians. That's kind of the arm wrestle that was going on. Eventually, the Brits came and invaded and took control of the place, and the Mir at the time ran away to China. But then the British brought him back when he came back and said, no, we want you to be in charge of it. It's your region. We just want the pathway to China. So they gave back the independence. It was kind of a semi-independence, the British rule of this area. And under that British rule, there was a bit of restoration done to make sure it survived a little bit longer. And here it is today. And this is the royal throne. You'd lounge here and look over your kingdom. What a view. Ah, there's an actual kickabout going on down there. They're playing footy. This is an amazing country. Already, my first impressions are so strong about the place. I don't mean this. I mean, all of this is undeniable. Undeniable. But I mean the vibe of the place. That's something I'll never be able to translate properly on video, but what a nice place to be. This is a cool room. Obviously the stained glass was a later addition. Definitely not original. Very cool room though. Oh, and there's another one. Look at this. And then as you walk back out, wait, are they people? Have a look at this. What meatheads? Maybe that gives you an idea of the scale, actually. Anyway, yeah, you walk out and, well, that. What can you even say? Actually, what I can tell you is that's a pretty big drop, that, innit? Maybe not the best place for a sit down. Fun fact, this actual cannon was used to shoot against us, the Brits. They made every house in the area donate charcoal and brass utensils so they can shoot at us. It's that cannon there. By the way, if you are a little bit too interested in this area of the world, its history and its buildings, which I am, you might think that this actually looks a little bit familiar. And that is on purpose, because in the 16th century, a wife of one of the Mirs of Hunza, maybe she was a princess, redesigned this to have a lot more of a Tibetan look to it. She based it on the Potala Palace in Lhasa in Tibet. And if you've seen my China videos, we visited Shangri-La, which also copied the Potala Palace in Lhasa in Tibet. So if you did recognize it, it is on purpose. It was a deliberate change. I also want to say that the ticket, doubling up as a postcard, is an incredible move. That is off straight to my grandma's house. Daddy! I found the footy pitch. Do you reckon I can play? I'm not exactly wearing my total 90s, but let's show them what GY is about, shall we? What's your favourite team? Madrid, Barcelona, Grimsby?
Ronaldo's team.
Ronaldo's team, okay. Good goal. Oh, he's like Phil Jevons. No one's going to get that. Shot from Jevons! Oh! Can I take one? All right, let's see if I can see what we can do. In the corner. The whole squad's involved now. So we're making teams. I'm with these two chaps. 1 goal or 2 goals?
No, 1 goal.
1 goal. Okay, so this one is our goal. And they're making a goal over there. In the mixer. Oh, he's gone. He's through on goal. He's done us. I'm taking my turn in goal. It's boiling, it's dry, I'm thirsty. And we're losing, so it's not great. Yes! There's one back. Oh no, he's coming. Keep a change. Now we're gonna win. Hello.
Go!
That makes it 4-3. Yes! Good goal. What's your name?
Shiram Khan.
Shiram Han. Hello. My name is Lewis. Good game. What's your name?
Shifan.
Shifan. Good game. I'm Lewis. But that's me done. Too fat and old for this. Footy, the universal language. For anyone wondering about safety or how it feels in Pakistan, I've been all over here, running about the place. All over here. For my passport, my money, everything that I need to survive in this situation has been over here unscathed. Right, I'm a bit hot and a bit dry. Another hour to go until iftar when I can eat and drink again. But I am fulfilled knowing that a few random kids in a random part of Pakistan have now heard the name Grimsby Town. And after all that, this cricket game is still going on. At this point, while the sun's going down, I am just randomly meandering now around these, can you call them streets, dusty trails? It's pretty much sand, actually. Just met another bloke called Kareem, very friendly chap. Asked me to get a picture of him, so I remember him. Wonderful people here, really warm, welcoming, but not overbearing. We seem to have done a loop of some kind because there's the fortress from earlier. Oh wow, look at this motorbike. So, to summarise, I know it's only my first day in Pakistan, but initial impressions, it is simply a completely different world to China. Every single aspect is different. Some positive, some negative. I would just call them differences really, but you've got to be prepared if you're crossing the border from China to Pakistan. There's a lot of things you get very used to in China. The general convenience, the ease of everything, the infrastructure, everything. You're not going to get it here. But you're also going to win in a lot of other ways coming to Pakistan. And I feel like that's kind of the point, those differences. Experiencing and admiring the different places, different people. And I can absolutely guarantee you that the China to Pakistan border crossing will allow you the opportunity to do that. It is a completely different place. And on the topic of the China-Pakistan border crossing, the general journey, I can already recommend it with everything in my being. It's only really just getting started. It's already one of the best trips I've ever been on. It is a magnificent, magnificent part of the world. Now, one of those differences is getting back to Aliabad and getting some scran. If I were in China, I would open Alipay, I'd go on Didi, I'd order a taxi, it would be here in 12 seconds, it would cost me pennies, I would get straight there, I'd pay with digital payment methods, it would all be sorted. In this case, maybe not. Hello. Where are you going? Are you going to Aliabad? Yes. Can I come with you? Can I come? Thank you very much. Amazing, thank you guys so much. It was really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, I'm Lewis.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye. Thank you. And just like that, back in Allahabad, back at my hotel. Amazing people in Pakistan. Those two guys, a doctor and a lawyer. Fascinating chat with them, really good chaps. Back in the mix. I also lied earlier about hitchhiking. I also did it in Iraq, my first time there in 2017, and that was a fascinating experience as well. So 3 out of 3 so far for countries hitchhiked in. And that call to prayer outside, I think means it's finally time to eat. Let's get some scran. And this was the spread. This is a lobia, it's called. It's like a bean curry next to a mound of beef pilau. This is the same as pilaf, had it before. Couple of gigantic breads and a little side salad to pretend I'm healthy. What a spread. Kicking off with the beef pilau. This is the same as pilaf in Central Asia and also in Western China. I've mentioned this before. It's actually a really simple recipe but incredibly comforting. It's like rice, vegetables, some meat, in this case it's beef, and some raisins in there as well, which always makes it quite sweet. Really, really good food, that. This is the lobia. I've never had this before, but this was, yeah, it's like a veggie curry type thing. You eat this with the gigantic breads you've got on hand. Quite spicy, actually, but went well with the rice dish. Added some electrolytes to my water to do my best to rehydrate after a day of hiking around and kicking a footy about with absolutely no liquid in my system. That felt like pure magic. And this is what I was left with. Can't lie, almost caned it. I made a pretty good dint in that. I was ready for it. Wash it down with some water and I'm officially back in the game. Oh God, what a feast. That whole thing, by the way, just cost me £2.25, 800 Pakistani rupees. And now I'm off into a coma. Christ, what a day. Cheers, chaps. In a bit.